The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everybody, this is Randy Jones with eThink Education. I appreciate you joining us today for our What's New in Moodle 3.5 webinar. Really excited for this one. We do have people trickling in at the moment. We had just over 300 registrations for this session, so I'm really excited about that. Right now, we only have a fraction of that logged in. I anticipate we'll probably have 50 or more people log in here in the next, let's say 3 minutes or so. So I'm going to stall. In that time, a quick bit of housekeeping. You are on mute, so if there's any noise in the background, that's no problem at all. Also, and if you've been on our webinars, you've probably heard me say this before, our best sessions are the most interactive sessions. So do me a favor, check out the questions pane in the GoToWebinar control panel, and just say a quick hi. Tell us, what's your name? Where are you logging in from? Have you been to any conferences this year that you're really excited about? Are you headed to any conferences coming up here shortly? We've got a ton of them that we are headed to. I'm headed to ASAE, which is an association not-for-profit conference actually this weekend. And then from there, October is just it's maddening how many conferences we have. We have an Online Learning 2018 in Toronto. We have EDUCAUSE. We have the Moodle Moot. We have DevLearn. And I feel like I'm missing one or two that we'll be attending as well. So appreciate everybody bearing with us as we have a few folks still coming in. I see Reno, Nevada, Houston, Fort Worth, Texas, Chile. Hello from Chile. And yes, I'm not sharing any slides yet. I promise I will here soon. San Antonio, Baltimore. That's a familiar name. Hey, Ben, good for you to jump in here in Louisville, Mexico, and Chicago. And a Jersey person. That's close to my heart there, Scott. I'm a Morris County guy originally. So good to have you in. BC. We are a Moodle partner up in Canada, so it's always nice to have the Canadian contingent in here. And Tim, we were at the Moodle Moot in Canada last year. I wonder if we met there. I think we may have. Your name looks familiar. All right, we're going to go ahead and try to respect everybody's time here. Jump in. You should now be seeing my slides going into full screen mode here. And I'll quickly share my webcam. I appreciate everybody joining us today. I'm just going to share for a quick moment so you can see who you're speaking with today. These are always some of our most widely attended sessions. We have Moodlers from all over the world who like to join our experts for our What's New series. Every new release, we try to host one of these webinars for the community. My name is Randy Jones. I'm the Vice President of Sales here at eThink. And my favorite part about these webinars is that I'm just the MC. We bring in our experts from our services team to be the primary presenters for these sessions. So here's what we have for you today. We're going to go through a quick bit of introductions. You can know who on our team, which of our experts is joining you today. I'll give you a quick overview of Moodle and eThink. I looked through the registrations. It looks like there's a ton of Moodle experts on here. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on what is Moodle. I promise we'll get right through that. And then we'll jump into the meat. The beginning of that will only take 3-4 minutes. We'll jump right into what's new in Moodle 3.5. Please ask questions as we go along here. We will try to answer them as the session's going, right there in the chat. And if there's anything at the end, if we have time for that we think stands out as far as the questions that the entire audience should have an answer to, if we have time, we'll do that at the end as well. All right, so here's the A-team. Here's who we have presenting for you. Jeremy, Vanessa, aka Super V, and Daniel on the line here. These are three folks who know this industry inside and out with tremendous Moodle experience. I think you'll enjoy speaking to each and every one of them if you haven't met with them in the past. So Jeremy and V and Daniel, I really appreciate your time today. All right. So the obligatory, what is Moodle? Right? Moodle's the most widely used LMS in the world. It's really not even close. I looked today, and there's up over 131 million registered users of Moodle worldwide. That's interesting, especially considering that there's probably a large percentage of Moodle sites that aren't registered. So I think it's fair to assume that there's probably over 200 million users worldwide utilizing Moodle for some sort of learning. And the last point here is probably an important one that I should hit on. It is best to be deployed by experts. We constantly get the phone call that says, I'm on the IT team at XYZ organization. We were told we need a learning platform. I spun up Moodle. We've done all right, but we need a lot of help here. We need it to be better. Moodle's difficult. If you're self-hosting it and doing it a good job, that's awesome. Congratulations. I've seen teams as large as 30 people dedicated just to a Moodle instance to make sure it's running and behaving appropriately. That's what we do here at eThink. We are the team that is responsible for our clients' Moodle installations. We've been in business for 11 years. We have a 99% client retention rate, and about 164, I think, of our clients have migrated to us from other Moodle instances, and we've never lost one in the other direction. So that record right now is 164 to 0, something that we're certainly proud of. We are a certified partner. There's been a little bit of news, if you've been following the Moodle news, in the certified partner community, which is certainly interesting, being that Blackboard and Moodle Rooms no longer a Moodle partner. We'll see how that shakes out. Certainly interesting news here in the community. And what we do at eThink is we provide a fully managed Moodle experience. So again, what that means is we become the extension of our clients' teams responsible for their Moodle installation. So the hosting, the implementation, our team does a tremendous job, led by Jeremy on the solution side, of the discovery process during the implementation phase to ensure that each one of our sites is unique to meet specific needs for each one of our clients. We are integration experts. If you're with a higher education organization out there, our real-time SIS integrations, hands down the best in the market. Both of our founders came from Ellucian, and there's a ton of experience there. And we're even the first organization with an Ethos integration, if you're an Ellucian client out there. So we're excited about that. We provide a lot of consulting to our clients. If you've been to any of these conferences on the corporate side, DevLearn and ATD and SHRM and Learning Technologies in London. I saw somebody say they had been to that one. We were there last year. The e-learning ecosystem is just exploding. Even on the higher ed side, walk around EDUCAUSE, there's new vendors you've never heard of and new solutions that could be great for your institution. So we have clients come to us and say, we're looking to accomplish X, whatever X may be, and we guide them in the right direction. What we know has worked well, what we have seen maybe not work so well. We do a tremendous amount of that type of work for our clients. And just my last slide here before we jump into Jeremy's piece on the what's new on 3.5. Some things that differentiate us in the market. The support is unlimited. So anytime you have a question, issue, change you want to make in your Moodle site, we're always there to do that. We respond on average in under an hour. I think industry average is probably 24 to 48 hours when it comes to customer support first response time. So we're really, really proud of that number. Again, the services team, not just because 3 of them are here and they're scary and bigger than I am, but they are the best, truly the best in the industry. We do provide free training courses, learning Moodle in Moodle, and that superior customer service certainly can't be overlooked. So with that said, you guys aren't here to hear all that. You're here to hear from our experts on what's new in Moodle 3.5. Jeremy, I'm going to go ahead and make you the presenter. And so everybody knows Jeremy had a power outage about 4 minutes before the beginning of this session. lost Wi-Fi. We had a quick freak out moment, but Jeremy, it looks like you're up, back and running, and ready to rock.
And hopefully my screen is showing the right screen.
Screen looks great. You think Moodle 3.5, and we hear you. Oh, and now it just disappeared. There it is, and we hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Randy.
Sure.
So yes, if I suddenly vanish, we've lost power again. We're having a lovely storm here today. So hopefully that's not showing up too much in the background noise either. But what I'm going to be talking about today is some of the new GDPR features in Moodle 3.5. So for those of you that are well versed in Moodle and the features around this, they were released as plugins for versions before 3.5, but they've really been moved into core and more deeply integrated into Moodle with the release of 3.5. And the final versions themselves weren't released for the earlier versions until May. So a lot of people really haven't dug into them or seen or experienced them yet. So what's really nice about this is from Moodle 3.5, these features are part of core Moodle, and every aspect of Moodle is GDPR compliant. So what I'm going to walk you through today are just some of the aspects of how this works, especially from the pieces that most of our clients are kind of asking about. Those are usually affiliated with how the site policies work, accepting site policies, as that's kind of one of the newer, more detailed requirements for under GDPR requirements. And also then a little bit how users can request copies of their data and what that process sort of looks like. So I'm just going to guide you through the process, which is starting with going to the site administration, going to users, and there's this new area called privacy and policies. The big one that we are seeing a lot of work around are managing policies for your users. So what's really nice about this page is it pops up and allows you to kind of add as many policies as you need. This allows you to have things like an honor pledge and a privacy policy and maintain those separately, and also potentially target different users. So if you have a site that allows guest login, you may say, okay, those users also need to accept the privacy policy, but users that actually have accounts, they have to accept both the privacy policy and an honor pledge. You can also quickly see the percentage of your users that have accepted this particular policy from here, whether it's active or not. I'm going to go ahead and just show quickly that it's easy to activate and deactivate policies as needed. And it switches this to inactive. And then go in and create a new draft. This automatically copies that policy over and allows me to control who's getting access to it and who isn't. So this one I'm going to leave as authenticated users. And what you can see here is that you're able to do a summary, and you're also able to then, in the policy, do things other than just text. This is one of those areas of enhancement that has really been neat at how I've seen people use it. This was not my original idea, so can't take any credit for it, but this was actually something that I saw with a client site where they embedded a video of, this one is a corporate client, having one of their, I think it's their privacy or their security officer, that recorded a short video just talking about the importance of being aware of data and where you use data. And it's one of the things that they have everyone kind of experience as they're logging into their learning management system. So I'm going to switch this one to active and hit save. And it's made this again an active one that no one's accepted, and automatically updated it to a new version number. That's the other kind of concept that's been added, is this versioning that allows you to have a sense of which exact policy people have accepted. You can mark changes as minor changes, and it tells you right what that means right there. Any minor change, as long as it doesn't change the meaning, can allow users to not have to accept it again, but does provide them information if they look at the policy on the date that it was updated. I'm not going to go ahead and make a change right now, but what I am going to show you is what this then looks like for your end users. So I'm going to log in real quick. And it pops up and shows me the video, which I could watch. I click next, and it jumps me to this page and tells me here's the policy, that I have to agree to it, continues with that link back out to the privacy policy in greater detail, and then I also have to accept the honor pledge. So this is exactly what GDPR requires, which is proactive opting in to policies before people can use sites and have data collected about them. And then I click next, and I'm into the site, and you can see some other features like the user tours. And as a user, I can go to my profile, and I have a new section on my profile that's also related to privacy and policies. So this carries through for the administrators, the ability to manage these features, for the end users, the ability to review their own data. And so I can do things like look at the privacies and policy agreements. I can see what version that I've agreed to them, when I agreed to them. And I can also directly from this spot, and this is configurable, click on the contact the privacy officer, and this pops up, and you can configure who the privacy officer is on the back end so that you can control who gets these notifications. And it allows you to send directly a message as a user to whoever is the privacy officer for that organization. These are also then logged as records, and they can do things like do a data request. You can do a request that says, I want to export a copy of all my personal data to review it. I can request deleting all of my personal data. Now, obviously, this doesn't automatically delete anything, but it tells the privacy officer that somebody wants to delete all their information, and you can then have, in conjunction with your own legal departments, what kind of deletion policies make sense for your organization, and follow those policies to delete all user data if that's what you want to do. So that's a very brief overview. I'm actually over my time already because we do want to show you all the neat things, but this is definitely something that we've been getting a lot of questions about. eThink has been helping a lot of our clients make sure that their learning management systems are GDPR compliant and ready for new privacy policies as that evolves and changes around the world.
Great. Hey, thanks a lot, Jeremy. Jeremy's our GDPR pro in-house, so we really appreciate that. And next up, we have Vanessa. For those eThink clients on here, if you could call her Super V from now on, I'd really enjoy that. I'd appreciate it. Vanessa, I appreciate your time, and I also want to say to the audience, thank you for all the questions that we're getting in here. We'll continue to answer them as they come in. And to the rest of the audience who hasn't submitted a question, please feel free. We're happy to answer them as they come in.
Thanks, Randy. I'm actually pretty excited. I see a few of our registrants are some clients that I will be seeing on site pretty soon. So I'm just grateful for everybody being here and for a little bit of the levity as we get started. These sessions are so fun to do, and they're also very productive. So I'm glad that sounds like we're all enjoying ourselves. And Jeremy, I just want to say, nice job. I learn more from you every time I talk to you. As much as I know about GDPR, I learned even more from your just mini session there. So thanks. I have the pleasure. You're welcome. I have the pleasure today of talking about 3 different things that are new with 3.5. They're all sort of like mini moments, if you will. So I'll kind of move from one to the next. And the first is the ability for us to do some recording directly through our Addo text editor. So for those of you that have been with Moodle, you're familiar with the Addo text editor that's basically present anywhere we can build content. So we now have 2 new buttons in Moodle 3.5, and they might be my favorite new feature, actually. So first screen I have in front of you is just sort of a blank course. I built a label already right here. I have my editing turned on, and the first thing I wanted to show you is basically how you'll use the buttons. So I'll just jump right into the label. Nothing fancy just yet, but what I'm planning on doing is showing you how that you can make these work for you. So essentially, how I'm envisioning our clients will use these is sort of twofold. If you have existing content that you've built out already and you're looking to enhance it, these new features are perfect. Basically, you can take any existing content and add a little bit of flair, a little bit of flavor with the new recording buttons. I don't even have to open up the additional buttons in my editor. This is my text editor right here. On the far right-hand side, you can see each of those. I have an audio recording, and then I have a video. I can use either or both, doesn't matter. Today, I'm going to take a little walk on the wild side and do the video with you and share my webcam with you to show you just how easy it really is. So let's say, for example, you're going to enhance existing content. You have a little label here. You want to add a little bit of audio or video to the particular content for your learners. It's so easy. Click, and then as soon as you're ready, you start your recording. So I'll say, hi, everybody. Basically, what Moodle's going to do is automatically start my recording for me. I do have this cap at 2 minutes. So I have that timer you can see running very bottom of my screen where it's going to show me how much time I have remaining. And then as soon as I'm ready with my recorded video or audio, it actually happens the exact same way. I can just go ahead and stop that particular recording. I do then have the ability to watch myself again, make sure that I like what I'm seeing, I'm happy with what I've put together, and then if I am ready to go ahead and attach that, I can do so, or I can record again if I feel as though I need to enhance what I've done or I made a mistake or something like that. I can always go ahead and record again, attach the recording. This is probably the most awkward part, where then you have to look at yourself all over again, but you'll have your embedded piece there, whether it be audio or video, and then you can go ahead and save. And considering this isn't a label, once again, here I am looking at myself, but so my piece would be built in automatically. Super easy. I did that in just a few seconds, and I actually learned it just as quickly. So for me, one of the pleasures of talking about this with you today is just to say how easy it will be for you to also take advantage of the feature. Not much of a learning curve here at all. Okay. All right. Microburst number 2. So the next thing on my agenda is the idea of course images. So we've been able to add personalized course images to Moodle before. But what's neat now is if we add those into any of our courses, they will also then display on the dashboard. So as probably many of you know, in the most recent versions of Moodle, our dashboard continues to be enhanced. It's more robust. What it can do is increasing with every version of Moodle as we go. So what I want to show you is if I go into, and so I'm in the Boost theme here, if I go into the settings of my course, however you get there, there's a section in your course settings that is called Course Summary Files. So here's where you can add in your personalized images. And if you do so, they'll display on the dashboard. So I'm going to do that for you and then show you how quickly your dashboard will populate with the new information. So I'm just going to use the drag and drop functionality. Go ahead and pull over an image I already have saved. I'll pause for a moment just to say Moodle is going to tell you right here what the accepted file types are, and they're the most common image files that you'll be working with anyway. So super easy, go ahead, save your changes, and then I'll pop over to the dashboard and show you what that looks like. I'm just going to refresh. I haven't had an image in there beforehand. So what Moodle's going to do is provide me with these just sort of basic color pattern combinations. And if I haven't put any personalized image in, this is what Moodle will do for me, just to give me a visual look on the dashboard. But if I go ahead and refresh, you'll see that the image that I just uploaded is here, and then, a little bit more personal for users. One thing I like to say to really anybody that I talk to new features about is when I play around with this, a little bit of what I've learned. So what I've learned in terms of course images is that they tend to prefer something that is a little bit more of a landscape display. doesn't so much like some of my training course badges that I've uploaded, which are around. So a little bit of playing around with the feature is probably what you'll see yourselves doing too, which is exactly what I've been doing, just to kind of get the right fit for what looks nice, what sizing works, that sort of thing. But generally speaking, what I'm finding is something in a landscape view you'll be successful with. All right, last piece is the badges. So 3 new features with our badges, new enhancements. I'm going to display all of this at the site level because each of the new criteria that we have available to us, they're all available at the site level. If you're experienced with Moodle, you know that you can create a badge at a course level too. Only one of these new criteria is going to be available at the course level. Just so that we can be in one sort of place and look at all 3. I'll be here at the site level, but I do want to make sure that you understand that one of these is available at the course level. It's the first one I talk about, which is going to be awarding a badge based on previously awarded badges. The other 2 are solely site level. So hopefully as I go, I make that clear. I was thinking that probably the best way to do this is to walk through building a badge, and I won't spend a lot of time on that, but just to give you the idea of what that looks like in case you've never done it before. And then after we build our sort of demo badge, I can show you the criteria. So on my screen now, you can see I've already built a few different site level badges. Part of these are just my playing around with the new features, and part of them are in preparation for today. So regardless of whether you have 4 badges built or 0, the process will be the same in terms of getting started with something new. There's a button here to add a new badge. And then for those of you that have worked with Moodle before, I say to a lot of our clients, the idea of naming and describing is pretty repetitive. So that's really nothing new. Today I was thinking we could do something like Moodle Guru. In talking with Jeremy, I know that a lot of our clients, a lot of our prospects are interested in awarding a badge based on the idea that a series of other courses or something like that has been completed. So I started thinking about that in terms of our training courses. You've completed Moodle Basics or Moodle 101. You've completed Moodle 201, or what we're calling advanced usage of Moodle. And then after that, let's hope you're a Moodle guru, okay? So that's the idea of sort of the direction I'm going in here. Description doesn't have to be super specific, just something that would explain what the badge is going to be issued for. So something like, upon completion of, and so forth. So something that's a worthwhile description for those that will be earning it and those that perhaps might be issuing it. You can choose a file through your file picker, or you can also do something like the drag and drop, which you saw me do a moment ago. I'll reuse the same image just because I have it handy. And then in terms of issuing, you don't have to be specific. It doesn't even have to be, let's see if I can spell education right. It doesn't even have to be that you've set aside a particular person in your organization that is managing badges. You can sort of just give it something generic. And then for today's purposes, let's just go ahead and create the badge. Like a few other processes in Moodle, this is what I would sort of generally refer to as the Moodle wizard. It'll walk you through what to do. So next step is where we get into the meat of what's new in 3.5, and we get to talk about the new criteria. So in the drop-down menu, you'll see the 3 new features, which happen to start with what I'm highlighting, awarded badges, and then we'll move on to the following 2 in just a moment. But staying with the flavor of Moodle Guru, if I decide that the Moodle Guru badge will be awarded to people that have completed other courses and have been awarded badges for those courses, I can select this criteria, and then what Moodle's going to do for me is show me what other badges I have to choose from, basically. So I can say you've completed Moodle Basics and you've earned that badge, and same thing with advanced usage, so I'll highlight both, and then I can go ahead and save my changes. Super easy. It'll walk you right through. I'm going to cancel out just so that I can go back and show you the other 2 criteria that are new. Next one is profile completion. And I must say that as I was learning this for myself, I was thrilled to see that if I click this, Moodle is giving me an entire list of what's possible. I don't have to come up with any of that on my own. So what I can say with this badge is perhaps I'm going to award a site level badge because I've requested that you upload a profile picture and you have gone ahead and done so. So I could select that particular criteria from the list. And then as soon as you complete that process and meet my expectation, the badge will issue. It's really very streamlined and very easy. Similarly, I'm going to go ahead and cancel out so we can go back to the third criteria that's new. And that happens to be cohort membership. So what I'll say as sort of a disclaimer for cohort membership is you need to have built cohorts at the site level, and you should have people enrolled in them. Once that's the case, if you click that criteria for the badge, you'll find said cohort in the list. Just because this is a demo site, I only have one for today's purposes, but you very well may have more than one. You would locate the proper cohort. You would go ahead and save those changes. And then the last thing with badges, if you are brand new to this, is once you've built out the overview and you've named it and given it that image, and then you've moved through your criteria, you then need to enable it. So that's the last step right here. It's not currently available. Go ahead and enable your access, and then you're good to go and your users are ready to start using that. So that's it in a nutshell. 3 new features. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much, everybody. And on to you, Daniel.
Yep. Via, as always, tremendous job. We really appreciate it. You have some questions coming in here, and you have multiple people referring to you as Super V in the question pane, which I love. That's excellent.
I hope I live up to my expectations.
Yeah.
I'll take a look. Thanks, Randy. Appreciate you very much.
No problem. And we did just have a little bit of communication with one of the attendees about our locations. Home office is in Baltimore. V was coming to you from Pennsylvania there. Jeremy's in Iowa. And Daniel, our next presenter, is in Georgia. Not
the Republic of, not the state.
The Republic of Georgia. Yeah, Daniel.
Welcome to all of our international participants.
Yeah, it's just after 10 o'clock your time, isn't it? 10 p.m.
That's right.
Oh, yep. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure is. So, well, welcome everybody. I'll be giving you a short demo on how to install and use the latest version of Moodle's mobile app. So I hope you're ready and we'll get started. Let me first say though that while I'm doing this using the iPad, the app's also available for Android-based devices via Google Play. Okay. So the first step in using the app is to find it in the App Store. Okay. So if you're familiar with the iPads and the iOS, you know how to do this. You can just click on search. All you have to do is type in Moodle. Search button. And it should be the first one on our list. So as you can see, I've already installed the app here on my iPad, so all I have to do is click on the open button, and it takes me right to it. So the first step, if you're logging in for the first time, you'll need to input your Moodle's website address and username and a password. And so you can do this by clicking on the orange plus sign, little circle on the bottom right-hand corner, and it will take you to a screen where you can put in your site's URL. You'll click connect, and then another screen will pop up where you can input your username and password. Now, for today's purposes, I've already got a user and a site set up, and so as you can see, I got an eThink student and an eThink teacher. I'm going to go ahead and log in as the teacher, so you can get everything from a teacher's perspective. There is the GDPR policy agreement that I will need to agree to. And we're in. So the first thing we see here is the site homepage. And so this is very similar to if you were on your browser and on your computer, you can search for courses. You can see the courses you're currently enrolled in. As you can see, I'm enrolled in 4 courses. You can search the course categories or find courses via the course categories. and see the site announcements. So right now, we don't have any discussions or site announcements. Now, as we move down across the bottom of our screen, we have the that gray bar, and so that first button is the home button, and that'll take you back to the site home and the courses and the timeline. But you also have the calendar, which gives us upcoming assignments and due dates. You can see the dates under all of the assignments there, and if you click on them, then it gives you a description of that assignment. And so, well, that's basically it for the events, the calendar events. Next, we have the messages, and so this is where if you're communicating with your students, then any messages would pop up here. You can go back and forth like a chat, and then you have notifications, where if you have any upcoming events, any assignments that are due, the teacher has configured certain notifications to go out. You have a forum that you need to participate in. This would all show up here. Okay. Then the last thing we have are some just other settings here. Grades, my files. You can actually access your website via that little website icon there via the browser. Help, additional app settings, and if you wanted to, you can change the site and input a different site name, a different URL, and a different username and password. So let's go ahead and go back to the home page. Site home, and then I'm going to go here, and across the top you'll see courses. Here you have the course overview page. This is like my courses that you would see if you were just in front of your computer. And as you can see, I have 2 courses in progress. So here you have a little button that says in progress, future, and past. I have 2 courses in progress, 1 course that is yet to open and is in the future, and then 1 course that's already finished and is in the past. Let's go back to my progress, to in progress. And so when you have the courses in progress, if you'll move over onto, follow the white bar across the top, and right below it, you have a little cloud icon with an arrow. You can actually download these courses to view offline. Okay, but only the courses in progress. It won't allow you to do courses that are already finished or courses that are in the past. Okay, so that's basically the my courses page. Next, we have the timeline, which this is really neat. This actually, if you're a teacher, it will let you know what assignments are coming up, what assignments need to be graded. If you're a student, it will let you know what assignments are coming up and what assignments you need to do. If you look over at the 1-minute paper, week 2 is due to be graded. So if you move over to the right-hand side, you see a little 2 there. That means that for this particular assignment, we have 2 students or 2 submissions that need to be graded. So all you need to do here is just click on the assignment, and it's actually going to take us into the web browser. And then this should look pretty familiar. This is very much what it would look like on your computer. And so we have here the 1-minute paper, week 2, grade summary. We have 4 participants, 3 submissions, 2 things that need to be, 2 submissions that need to be graded, due date. And then all we have to do here is, we can click on view all submissions. And you can see here we have 4 students, 1 student that made no submission, and 3 students that have submitted something for grading. 1 student, Sam student, has already been graded, and he got a 10 out of a 10. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go with Sage student, and we're just going to click on grade. And this is really neat here. So what it happens is it takes whatever document it is, it could be an Excel, a Word file, a text file, and it will convert it into a PDF document, which can be annotated. So up here at the top, I'm just going to scroll here, and you can see all of our options for annotation. And so what we can do is, we can just write circle. Doesn't work too well. Maybe we should use the circle option here. We can use the highlight option. Different stamps. Okay, so that is something that's very new and quite interesting. You'll probably need to have a little bit of practice before it looks good for you. So in addition to that, we can input the grade. So, well, let's say this person didn't do very well. We're going to give them a 6 out of a 10, and then we can leave a feedback comment which needs improvement. And so you can actually tell the student what needs to be improved. Okay. After that, we can just save and show next. Confirm. Yep. And it will take us on to the next student. Okay, well, this is the student that's already been graded, so we'll go ahead and just save and show next. And then it'll take us to that one student that still, there we go, still needs to be graded. Okay, so that's basically grading in the mobile app. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go back to the app itself. Okay, and I'm going to go back to courses. And I'm going to go into one of my courses here, the Biology 101 course. All right, so basically this should look, if you're familiar with Moodle, this should look familiar. So what we have here is the contents page, and we can see all of the resources and activities that for a particular section. Right now we're looking at the general section, and so you can select what section you want. We can go into the photosynthesis section and see the content there, okay, or the DNA section, okay. And so this way you can actually participate in activities. If there's a discussion forum, if there's a wiki, you can go ahead and participate in those. You can also see the assignments. It won't let you do the annotated PDF this way, but you can just click on participants and you can see what's been graded or not. We'll select Sasha student, and here you can download the file or view it, but it won't let you annotate it. So the other way is a little bit more fun and a little bit more useful. So basically that's that. We'll go back. And then now we have, in addition to the contents page across the top, we have a participants page where we can see all of the users, the students that are in the course. We'll pick Sage Student, and then here you can message the student. So this is another option, to message the student. You can email the student. Okay, let's cancel out. Go back to our app here. Done. Okay. Add a new note for the student. And then we can see the student's details, email address, the country, the grades that the student has. And so you can see here that the 1-minute paper, week 2, 6 out of 10 was 60%. And then our feedback comment. And the student will see this as well. Badges, if any badges have been awarded, this is where the student will see the badges. Okay. Next, we have grades. And this just gives you a sneak peek at the grade book, okay? This doesn't show any of the grades, of the students' grades, but it shows you what the assignments are and what the range is. And, well, if you are if you can be a teacher, and if you're also a student in another course, this is where you would see the grades for your own grades. So then the next we have competencies. And so this is if you are using competencies, this is where they would be displayed. And lastly, we have notes, that if you have any notes, this is where they would be. Okay, so basically that is the mobile app in a nutshell. Thank you all for participating, for being here with me, and hopefully you have left me a lot of questions that I can answer for you.
Yeah, Daniel, as always, we really appreciate it. Great job. And I do know there's a ton of questions. Jeremy and Vanessa have been sort of feverishly answering them. So a big thank you to those two. A couple final thoughts here. The first thing I'll say is that as the person responsible for our sales strategy, there's nothing more important to me than believing in the solution and believing in our team. And I just want to say, and I know I said it earlier, the services team on the eThink side is absolutely the best in the world. So again, a big thank you to Jeremy and Vanessa and Daniel for joining us today. Also, if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. And I would like to point out that we are hiring at the moment. I know we're hiring in the system admin area, I believe in the client care area, in sales, in marketing. As an organization, we're growing rather rapidly, and we are able to luckily hire the most talented Moodlers from around the world. So if you are interested and you're looking at a career change, please feel free to reach out to me or careers@ethinkeducation.com. Lastly, I'll say that we will continue to stick on the line because I see that there are more questions that are coming in. For those of you who have had all your questions answered, enjoy your day. Again, feel free to reach out to me if you'd like a one-on-one demonstration to learn more about the eThink services. To the eThink clients who are here today, a big thank you to you for being so loyal to eThink and for joining us today. All right, we'll stick around to answer any further questions, but the presentation is over at this point. A big thank you to everybody for attending. Team, is there anything that you want to answer out loud here that you think is worth addressing to the audience that is remaining? I know you've been answering really directly.
Yeah, thanks, Randy. I know Jeremy has, I can see his wheels turning. I can see it virtually, but one thing that I would say that I thought was a great question from Katie. Hi, Katie. Thanks for being here. Is the idea of accessibility with the videos. Major topic on my mind these days, and Jeremy was nice enough to talk with me about this previously, where we were experimenting with that. And so essentially that ADO recording is built on the idea of the new Video.js player, which has been a core feature of Moodle since 3.2. And so what it has is some built-in features that allow for you to provide your media content in a more accessible way. So you can use closed captioning or chapters in a longer video, different metadata associated with it, etc. So great question, and anything in Moodle that takes us a little bit farther down the path of making accessible content for everyone makes me happy. So good question, and actually not even something that was forefront of my mind, so I'm pleased that it came up today. Jeremy, I think you wanted to talk about one of the other more recent comments here that just came in a moment ago. Is that the case?
Yep, I can jump in real quick. Two things, actually. There was a follow-up question about what is about student inappropriate videos. One of the nice things is you can have those videos put into a space where the teacher can review and approve them before they're visible to other students. So I would recommend, if you have concerns about inappropriate video, to consider using some of that functionality so that you can kind of do a review of those before anyone other than the teacher is seeing them. So just like many other features in Moodle, you can set up different levels of permission, including preventing students from using the feature at all if that's something that you are interested in doing. So there's a lot of flexibility with that. The other question a couple different variants came up about was the PDF annotation tool. That actually is a core feature of Moodle now. So it is an available option, and it can convert from a wide range of documents. So the big ones are, of course, Word documents, and things like rich text formats, and even Excel documents can all be converted to PDFs and then annotated online. Keep the questions coming because we are happy to jump in and answer questions.
Absolutely. You know, I think, Jeremy, one thing we could probably flesh out a little bit more is the idea of where is the auto recording happening and what sort of a space is that happening? So for the instructor, it's anywhere you're building content. If you have that auto text editor, you're able to add in that audio or that video piece. For students and the student-facing side and what that looks like, it could be a little different. Do you want to speak to that in any way, Jeremy, or want me to? I think we could maybe just flesh it out a little bit more, be a little more clear as to what that would look like.
You might even be better at that than I am.
Okay.
So if you have a clear idea, I'll let you answer.
Yeah, sure. So just a couple of things. So I'm imagining when, you know, as an instructor, I create an assignment that a student is submitting to. Number one, if that's just going to be something like a file upload, then they're not going to have that auto recording functionality available to them. They're just simply uploading a document. If, however, I've built an assignment where I am allowing for text to be added in and submitted, or if I've built a quiz and perhaps I've created an essay question, and so therefore my students would have an auto text editor, then I'm opening up the arena a little bit more for them to have that extra functionality available to them. So just keep in mind that depending upon the types of content you're building, what sort of spaces your students are able to work within, that will also provide you a little bit more control in terms of what they're submitting, who's seeing it, that sort of thing. Hopefully that's helpful.
All right. The questions continue to come in here. I appreciate the team answering these directly and some out loud to the entire audience. Jeremy and Vanessa, any others that you think you might want to address the entire audience? You're going to continue to answer some of these here privately.
Yeah, I think one more, because apparently I just I'm on a roll.
Yeah,
So in terms of the mobile app, a lot of good questions coming in about the mobile app, and specifically, Scott, great question in terms of, you know, what's happening with content that students can take offline. So Moodle HQ has made a big push to making content accessible. Doesn't matter where you are, who you are, we want you to be able to access learning. So specifically with the mobile app, there is a lot of functionality, as Daniel showed you, whereby you can download and look at things offline. There are some limitations that instructors can be utilizing. So for example, if you don't want someone downloading a quiz and maintaining that offline, there are some settings in place that you can use to control that type of content. But consider it, generally speaking, that the purpose of the mobile app and one of the benefits of the mobile app for many users is the ability to download something, and if you don't have the bandwidth or you don't have the Wi-Fi to be looking at it and using your data to spend your time on it, you're able to do that offline. And so then, yes, therefore, you can be completing work, and then once you're connected and back online, you can be uploading said work to the app. The other thing in trainings that I hear a lot from schools specifically, where students are really focused on their grades and what's been graded and where am I at with things, huge push for the mobile app, and huge benefit of the mobile app is that real-time updating that's happening. So I can refresh my screen and I can see you know, what's going on. If I'm on the train at 2 a.m., you know, coming home from a job or something, I can kind of be refreshing that data and seeing that data real time. So some pretty cool things happening with the mobile app, and good questions coming in about it.
Awesome. And one other question I'll address here is we had somebody ask it, they're already utilizing Moodle, but how would they take advantage of our services? I guess I have two responses there. The first is we'd be happy to do what we call a discovery process and then give you a demonstration of how we can have Moodle meet your unique needs. And from there, if you do decide to work with eThink, a Moodle to Moodle migration, meaning if you're already running Moodle, but you want us to host and service it for you, is simply the easiest migration that we do. We've done it well over 150 times. So if that's something you're interested in, again, you could reach out to me and I'd be happy to facilitate that conversation with our team. All right. With that being said, I know we're coming up at the end of our time. One last thank you to all the audience members and to our services team for joining us here today. We look forward to speaking with you all at upcoming conferences or on demonstrations. Thanks so much for attending. We will talk to you again soon.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Randy.
Thanks.
Appreciate you being the MC. Take care, everybody.
That was fun. Thanks all. Bye now.
Thanks. Take care.